Hi, I'm Jerry, and I love to fish. But when I tell people about my fly-in fishing trips to Canada, they get a little intimidated by all the planning. So I put together this series to help you plan your own trip. Hopefully, you'll have as much fun as we do. This is the introduction video on my fly-in fishing videos. It's based off of 25 years experience. So we've changed a lot on our procedures and things like that on what we pack over the last 25 years. And I want to share those in case you decide that you want to try one of these trips, or if you've done a trip or two and you want to do another one, you can use some of our experiences and come up with your own little way of doing things. Why am I doing it? I tell people all the time about my trips up there and how much fun I have. And I find they don't do it because they know that there's a lot of planning involved and what to bring and stuff like that. And so I wanted to put together a bunch of videos to help people get up and running so they can have as much fun as we do. I'm going to break it down to less than 10-minute videos. If you want to go back and revisit something, you can quickly do that. I'm going to put together a video on what to expect up there. So this is going to be a general one. It's probably the one I would recommend everybody watch, the very first one, just so that they get an idea. They get up there, there's no surprises. They have an idea of what the lake's like, what the cabin's like, and what's in the cabin, and pretty much what we do as a schedule. You need to choose a leader for the group. There's a checklist of stuff you need to have, and if one person's in charge of that, it gets done. If you have everybody divvying up what they're going to bring, and then they show up at the last minute and somebody forgets something, you don't have it, which is bad because you show up at a dock, you throw everything onto a plane, they drop you off someplace, they come back a week later. If you don't have something, you don't have it. And that could be bad if it's something important. Packing the group totes, we call it the kit. We keep the kit now together since we've been doing this, but the kit's going to have your dish rags in it. It's going to have things like cards, mosquito coils, things like that, that everybody in the group will use. It's good that everybody understands that, because if everybody in the group decides, oh, I want to bring some dish rags up, and I want to bring some coils up, mosquito coils, and I want to bring up some extra playing cards. Next thing you know, you got 12, 15 packs of playing cards. You don't need 15 packs of playing cards. You do pay by weight, but you also have a limited amount of space that you can fill. So just packing stuff to be packing it is pretty much a waste of time. And hopefully these videos will help you overcome that. Shopping for food, you do pay by weight, so you want to make sure that if you're going to pack food, you only pack what's needed. But it's also good that everybody in the group knows what you're having on what day. So we had a person one time grab our cornbread. We had cornbread and fish and beans planned one day. They grabbed the cornbread, they made it, thought it would be neat to snack on. But then the day that we planned on having the fish and the cornbread, we didn't have cornbread with it. So it's important that everybody understands what you're having. If you want to plan snacks, have snacks as part of your kit. Individual packing, this is what everybody needs to bring for themselves. Things like a rain jacket, but I'll go over all that. I think everybody in the group should see this video because it'll make sure that they have what is needed on an individual basis. Fishing tackle, I'm going to go over what we found successful for the walleye, perch, and pike. We did fish at one lake that had smallmouth in it, but the majority of lakes only have walleye, perch, and pike. And after 25 years, there are certain lures that just kill them. And you make sure you have those as part of your tackle box. You can bring all kinds of other garbage if you want. But I'm going to go over what we found successful. And we catch 20, usually around 20 fish every outing. So in the morning, in the evening, we've talked to people before, and I know one group came back and they said they caught 7 fish the whole trip, and it just blew our minds. But I'll share with you what we found successful, and that way, if you have a bad day and only catch 5 or 6, that's better than only catching 7 the whole trip. The fish finder, I highly find, I highly recommend doing it. It's pretty much for depth. Somebody told us that at the one part of the lake where it gets to 20 feet, right on the north side of it where it gets to 7 or 8 feet is where they catch a lot of fish. We're throwing a rope in with knots in it, trying to figure out where that is. And so we actually build our own fish finders. That way we can actually drive with the fish finders. And I'm going to do a whole thing on the fish finders. But that's real important. We at least 5 times as many more fish every outing if you have a fish finder. Because if we're catching them at 7.5 feet, then you're not going to catch them at 5 feet, and you're not going to catch as many in 12 feet. So it's good to know where the fish are, and then you can look at that and kind of get a judge for that day where you're going to be catching your fish. We put together a to-do list. There are certain things that just need to be done. Somebody needs to cook, somebody needs to set the table, somebody needs to fill the, there's the fish finder right there. You can see that we use a tackle box, and that's pretty cool. But somebody needs to fill the gas cans up, somebody needs to sweep the floors. There's a lot of sand up there and things like that. So I'll put together a to-do list. If everybody knows what it is, you don't have one person telling everybody. Nobody wants to be told what to do, and nobody else wants to be asked, what should I be doing? So if you put together a to-do list, then people just know that it needs to get done, and it just makes the trip more fun. A water filtration system. The lake, there's a pump that goes straight into the cabin. It's pure lake water. One time my son was taking a shower, and a leech came through the water into the shower head and clogged it up, and then that was kind of gross. So I put together a little water filtration system. It's something simple, it's cheap, but at least the water is run through some type of a filtration. You still need to boil it to drink, but it's nice to know that there's not leeches while you're boiling the water. Go over the different types of fish and filleting, what we do for fish and how we do it. If you're not experienced, this will be helpful for you. If you know what you're doing, you don't need to really worry about that one. And that's it. Thank you very much, and I hope you have as much fun as we do. Please visit walleyejair.com for other videos and files.